into four eras, that is Protrusive Era, Paleozoic Era, Mesozoic, and Cenozoic. And one more is there, Azoic, where the organisms are not there. That is, living organisms or life was not existing. Proterozoic era. Let us see each era. Proterozoic era existing between 2,500 to 541 million years ago. So here, that is before 2,000 million years ago, first cellular forms of life appeared. So today's in today's class, what we are discussing, so many questions can be framed from each and every line. Okay, so when the first cellular forms appeared on Earth 2,000 million years ago, so some of the cells, they were releasing oxygen, and this is very important for life, living. So after this only, different organisms have been evolved. Okay, see, for example, before animals, plants were existing. So plants were widespread when the animals have been evolved. So for example, the oxygen releasing reactions like photosynthesis was carried out in plants, and this oxygen became the important component of life. Okay, and again, first single-celled organism have been developed. We already saw how the inorganic substances, inorganic molecules, they released by Big Bang, that is cosmic explosion. So after that, they combined, and again small organic molecules have been evolved. From small organic molecules, monomers have been evolved, and again from monomers, that is bigger macromolecules have been evolved. And in that, first evolved macromolecule was RNA, and from that DNA developed, and again aggregation of lipids made membranes. So this membrane formation was needed for organelle formation. From that, organelles formed, and all organelles together formed a cell. Like that, the single-celled organisms have been developed first, evolved first, and from that, multicellular organisms evolved. Okay, so here, let us see, that is Proterozoic era. If you take, it is having 6 periods. Okay, that is Cambrian. Cambrian is from 490 to 540 million years ago, and Ordovician is from 443 to 490, and again Silurian 425 million years ago. Devonian is 405 million years ago, and again Carboniferous. So this is based on the living organisms what evolved in those periods. Carboniferous 360 million years ago, and Permian 285 million years ago. So these are all not given in NCERT. And again, if you take, that is that this information is there, it is important again. So from 540 to 252 million years ago, which is called as Proterozoic era, important Proterozoic era period. In that, 500 million years ago, invertebrates were formed. So this is important. And again, 450 million years ago, first land organisms, as I told, plants were evolved first. Okay, and 400 million years ago, arthropods invaded the land, and 350 million years ago, jarfish, and 320 million years ago, seaweeds. Okay, so this you can expect in matching question. 500 invertebrates, 450 plants, 400 arthropods, 350 jawless fishes, and 320 seaweeds. See here, again, later only, first fishes evolved, and some of the fishes, they were coming out of water bodies and going back into water. So from those type of fishes, amphibians evolved. Okay, see here, that is lobe fins, stout and strong finned fishes. They were moving from water to land for the first time. And from that only, some evolution happened and first amphibians developed. So you know the definition for amphibians, those who are living in both land and water. So question how they will ask, which organism is the ancestor for modern day frogs and salamanders? Lobe fins, the fishes which moved from water to land and again going back and living like this. Okay, and again in 1938, coelacanth fish was caught in South Africa, but actually in that time they were thinking this fish was extinct. Okay, again they can ask question. Coelacanth fish, which was considered to be an extinct organism, it was caught in South Africa in the year 1938. Okay, so from this three questions you can expect. One is again matching type question, or else individually also from this information you can get questions. Okay, and again frogs evolved from lobe fins, and coelacanth in 1938 it was found alive, which was considered as extinct one. Yeah, see these are the lobe fins. So first they were having like this, and see how they are changed, and again this tail was removed. Early days frogs were having tails. Okay, so like this evolution happened. Yeah, so next again, as I informed, 320 million years ago seaweeds and few plants were existed, and from fishes frogs evolved, and from frogs reptiles evolved. Amphibians you can say total, and from that reptiles evolved. Okay, and again usually the reptiles, because as they are living on land, they have to withstand the heat produced by the sun rays. So first thick-shelled eggs were laid by these reptiles. So based on the environment and to survive and to continue life, the organisms evolved like this. And one more is giant ferns, that is pteridophyte. These were present, but they all fell into form into coal deposits slowly. That is, now they are not there. Giant ferns. And again, second era is Mesozoic. So Mesozoic, again, the period is 252 to 66 million years ago. So again, in this Mesozoic era, this is the era of that is age of reptiles and gymnosperms. Majorly, the reptiles and gymnosperms evolved in this Mesozoic era. And again, it is having three periods, like what kind of organisms living at that period: Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. So Triassic again 230 million years ago, Jurassic 208 million years ago, and Cretaceous and 144 million years ago. This is additional information. So Mesozoic era is for reptiles and gymnosperms, evolution of reptiles and gymnosperms. And again 200 million years ago, some of the land reptiles went back into the water to evolve into fish-like reptiles. Ichthyosaurus, this we saw in animal kingdom also. So few reptiles which again when moved back into the water, they formed a different species called Ichthyosaurus. And again land reptiles. At that time, the land reptiles, those who remained in land itself without moving into water, those were dinosaurs. So in that, again, based on there are so many species. Tyrannosaurus, Triceratops, Stegosaurus, Brachiosaurus, like that. See, here the horn is there. And this is also comes under that genus, but different species. See, in this, forelimbs are used for locomotion. Here only hind limbs are used. So like that, they evolved based on the need. So in Mesozoic era, which is particular for reptiles and gymnosperms, in that you have to remember like Ichthyosaurus, which moved back into water, and the reptiles, those who remained, that is, they stayed in land itself, they formed a separate genus. Okay. Yeah. Yes, again, and this Tyrannosaurus Rex was the largest dinosaur, 20 feet in height, and huge, fearsome appearance it had. And teeth also very sharp. And in that era, toothed birds were also emerged. So before that, only with the help of beaks, they used to swallow whatever the food they are getting, the birds. After that, toothed birds were emerged. The third era is Cenozoic, 66 to 0 million years ago. That is, at that era only, mammals, angiosperms evolved. Okay, so from lobe fins, amphibians, then reptiles, and after that only mammals evolved. Okay, and yes, it has two periods, that is tertiary and quaternary. So this quaternary period is for man. Okay, and again, yeah, see, 65 million years ago, suddenly, that is the reason for that is not known. Dinosaurs suddenly disappeared, became extinct. So that is different biologists, they were giving their own reasons, like because of climatic changes, they become extinct. And that is, some say that most of them evolved into birds. They were evolved into birds based on the need. Okay, and again, let us come to the mammals again. So first mammals were shrew-like. So that is hominid. They were very small sized. Like in evolution of man also, we are seeing only the 4 feet humans were there. Okay, and for example, see, South America, there were mammals resembling horse, hippopotamus, bear, and rabbit, etc. So because of genetic drift, yesterday we discussed about genetic drift, how the gene is getting modified. So because of this genetic drift continuously when it was happening, and geological drift also, South America joined the North America, and these animals are overridden by North American fauna. So when that is when both the habitat mixed, automatically the strongest organisms can continue their life. So this is like geological drift. Because of that, so many organisms became extinct. So because of this continental drift, automatically Australian marsupials survived. Because of the lack of competition there was no mixing of any continent. That is, the continental drift was not there in Australia. But if you compare America, many of the organisms became extinct. Yeah, again, so these are the eras given in the NCERT. So what we discussed, this is from now to earlier period. First one is 0 to 60. You can take Quaternary, then Tertiary, then Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic, Permian, Carboniferous. So this order is important. You should remember. Okay, and again in this they have clearly stated. See, after Carboniferous, here till Carboniferous is given in this diagram. After that, Devonian and Silurian is given. So in these periods, what are all the organisms have been developed? That is very much important. Cenozoic angiosperms. You remember this. Mesozoic, again Cretaceous, Jurassic, Triassic. Paleozoic, Permian, Carboniferous, Devonian and Silurian. Yeah, so that's all about a brief account of evolution. And we are going to concentrate only on the evolution of man. This is the last part of the evolution chapter. Yes, here, so first found human was known as Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus. So those were found 15 million years ago, and that is total body was covered by hair, and their walking was like gorillas and chimpanzee, not straight. Their body was not straight. Okay, so when you compare these two, first one is Dryopithecus, and they evolved into Ramapithecus. So if you compare these two, Dryopithecus was more ape-like, monkey-like, and they evolved into man, and so they were named as Ramapithecus. So again, this is important. Dryopithecus and Ramapithecus 15 million years ago, hairy, and they walked first like gorillas and chimpanzee, and again they evolved more like man, which are that species were called as Ramapithecus. Okay, so generally 3 to 4 million years ago, man-like primates identified in fossils in Eastern Africa. The first mammals, that is primates, they have only 4 feet, and again that is man, human, they walked upright. Again, this they invented based on the fossils they got from Ethiopia and Tanzania. Okay, again this here the question how they will ask, that is 3 to 4 million years ago, the primates found in which country? Eastern Africa. And especially the fossils confirmed that 4 feet primates were identified in Ethiopia based on the fossils they have collected from Ethiopia and Tanzania. Okay, and again next is Australopithecus. 3 to 4 million years ago. And again, they lived in Eastern Africa. And they used stones first. For the first time, they used weapons. And again, from stone, they created. Before that, they didn't hunt. They ate fruits and leaves, whatever available in nature. So after that, small weapons they have created, and hunting happened, and again evolution happened. So next is Homo habilis. Homo habilis 2 million years ago. So whatever the human being, what we are doing, like being hominid, their brain capacity is here. You have to remember the brain capacity. You can get question. Homo habilis 650 to 800. Again, matching question you can expect here. 650 to 800 cc, the brain capacity. And purely they were herbivores. Okay, they did not eat meat. And again, next is Homo erectus. So this species they identified 1.5 million years ago in Java. And their brain capacity was 900 cc. And next is Homo neanderthalensis. Homo neanderthalensis, and again Neanderthal man, you can say, that is 1 lakh to 40,000 years ago, their brain capacity See how much it is getting increased. 1400 cc. So where they lived again, they lived in Central Asia. So see how they can ask question means based on the brain capacity and again where they lived. And again lived in East and Central Asia. So they protect their body. First time they protected their body by using leaves. And again they started living in some caves later. They buried their bodies, those who were dead. And the last is modern man. What we are seeing today is Homo sapiens. 75,000 to 10,000 years ago. This is Ice Age actually. So this species, they started agriculture and human settlements 10,000 years ago. And even if you compare now with the 50 years even, we have so much of changes. And again, this is important. First, Dryopithecus, Ramapithecus, then Australopithecus evolved. From that, Homo habilis, Homo erectus, Homo neanderthal man, and again, Homo sapiens. So this is very important again. Okay. Yeah, so this is again a diagram which is given in NCERT. A comparison of skulls of adult modern human beings. They were comparing with the chimpanzee, how they evolved from ape. Okay. Yeah. See, let us discuss some questions. Yeah, one second. One second. Yeah. Nandini? Nandini?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Shall we discuss questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Which of the following was not found in free form during origin of life? Ammonia, methane, oxygen, hydrogen. Which is
Oxygen.
not oxygen? Very good. Who gave experimental proof that hydrogen, methane, water, and ammonia give rise to amino acids? What experiment was conducted and who proved that from these? Are you getting Halden and Operan? Is that so? What about Urey-Miller experiment? Stanley Miller, who was the student of Urey. So who gave experimental proof that hydrogen, methane, water, and ammonia gave rise to amino acids? Stanley Miller, Charles Darwin, Lamarck, Operan.
Miller.
Miller, yes, Miller. Okay. And life originated in air, earth, water, none of them.
Water.
Yeah, water. So first water only evolved. How? By the combination of hydrogen and oxygen. And after that, rains, water bodies formed. Okay. Primitive atmosphere was made up of the mixture of primitive atmosphere. The first time atmosphere, primitive atmosphere, was formed by hydrogen, steam, methane, and ammonia. Okay, this is the correct answer. Which compounds were formed in the direction of the origin of life? Urea, nucleic acid, urea, amino acid, proteins, nucleic acid, proteins, amino acid. So for origin of life, which one is important here?
Options, ma'am.
What?
Options.
Options: urea, nucleic acid, urea, amino acid, proteins, nucleic acid, proteins, amino acid. Nucleoproteins. First, which that is biomolecule evolved? RNA. From that DNA. From that proteins. Okay. So nucleic acids and proteins are the reason for evolution, origin of life. Yeah, there was no life in Mesozoic, Cambrian, Paleozoic, Azoic. Just now I told there was no life in Azoic. No life. Okay. Yeah, life originated 8 billion years ago, 6 billion years ago, 4 billion years ago, 1 billion years ago.
4 billion years ago.
Yeah, very good. 4 billion years ago. Stanley Miller synthesized in his experiment viruses, proteins, amino acids, cell.
Amino acids.
Yeah, what are the amino acids? Do you remember? What are the amino acids Stanley Miller produced? Glutamate. And what are the molecules he used? What are the molecules he used and what are the products he got? Methane, please note it down. Methane,
Ammonia, hydrogen,
and water.
water
What is the
vapors.
what is the ratio of methane, amino acid, and ammonia and hydrogen? Methane, ammonia, and hydrogen in the ratio of 2:1:2. Okay. And what are the amino acids he got? Glycine, alanine, aspartate. Please remember this. Glycine, alanine, aspartate. Okay. GAA. You remember like that. Glycine, alanine, aspartate. And what are the molecules he used for the production of amino acids? He got amino acids from, tell me, methane, ammonia,
hydrogen, water vapors.
water. Yes. DNA is a polymer of glucose, amino acids, nucleotide, none of them. Easy question. Nucleoproteins gave first sign of species evolution, life, none. Yeah, nucleoproteins are responsible for life.
Life.
Yeah, life. What is the most important? What is most important for origin of life? Carbon, oxygen, water, nitrogen. Water.
Oh.
Water. Okay. What is the most important for origin of life? Water. Miller synthesized simple amino acid from hydrogen, methane, ammonia, and water. Just now we discussed. Origin of life took place in which of the following period? Yeah, which period? Precambrian. Precambrian, Mesozoic, Proterozoic, Precambrian, and Devonian. Options are given, and again Precambrian is correct. Who rejected the theory of spontaneous generation? Who rejected the theory of spontaneous generation? What is spontaneous generation, Nandini? Tell me what is spontaneous generation? Nandini?
Yes, ma'am.
Don't. Yeah, what is spontaneous generation? Abiogenesis. That is the life exists from non-living components. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And again, who supported this theory? Who proposed this theory? Von Helmont. Okay, Von Helmont proposed this theory and that was rejected by Poisson. So Poisson did the experiment and he proved that only from pre-existing life, the life is originated, not from the non-living things. Is Poisson succeeded in disproving the theory of spontaneous generation because the laboratory was clean. He pulled out the neck of the flask into a tube. He is a lucky person. Yeast used in flask were dead. What is the correct option? Poisson, what he took, that is he taken swan neck flask. Do you remember that experiment, what I explained?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in that, when that is the water vapor, he boiled the content of the flask with the yeast. And again, the water vapors, it blocked the entry of the life from outside to get inside the flask. Because of that, he didn't find any life. After breaking that neck of the flask, again after a few days, he found the life inside the flask. So he pulled out the neck of the flask into a tube. And Spallanzani's experiment proved, yeah, Reddy, Spallanzani, and Poisson, these three scientists, they carried out so many experiments, what I explained to you. Reddy, he took meat. Spallanzani, he took veg and meat broth. And again, Poisson took yeast. Okay. So Spallanzani's experiment proved air from outside while entering the flask carried small bacteria. That is responsible for the origin of life. Okay. So it is not originated from non-living things. That was the proof given by Spallanzani. Understanding, dear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Spallanzani, what he stated is that is the air from he kept opened in one flask, he kept opened, and in another flask he closed. He took veg broth and meat broth. So in this he found out life originated here. No life was seen. Okay. Yeah. Next is believers of spontaneous generation theory believed that option 1, life is originated from other similar organisms or spontaneously. Life originated only spontaneously. Life originated from similar organisms. Life originated from air. Which one is correct? Believers of B, yes, life originated only spontaneously. As such, without any reason, it got originated. That was the explanation given by spontaneous generation theory, abiogenesis. Life is not found on moon because of no life in moon, because no water. No life because no water is there. So this proves that water is essential for origin of life. Okay. And now the basis of origin of life is spontaneous generation, first option, God's desire, that is special creationism theory, sunlight on mud, none of them.
None of them.
Yes, none of them, good. And oxygen in atmosphere has been formed by, for the first time, oxygen in the atmosphere has been formed by evaporation of water, photosynthesis of plants, metabolism of microorganisms, decaying organisms. Mostly photosynthesis, very good. Mostly metabolism of microorganisms releases carbon dioxide. You just remember microbes in human welfare. In that, most of the microorganisms used in the fermentation, they are producing carbon dioxide. Do you remember the large holes in bread and cheese? It was due to the release of carbon dioxide. Okay, so here photosynthesis of plants are reason for the oxygen presence in atmosphere. Yeah, so first the atmosphere was in the quality of the atmosphere. If you take, it was reducing. It creates reducing environment, and later because of the formation of oxygen, it becomes oxidative. See, please remember this atmosphere. If you take, that is primitive atmosphere, it was like reducing habit. It was having reducing habit because of the absence of oxygen. Okay, so here the question is given, primitive atmosphere was reducing because hydrogen atoms were active in greater number. So this is because of hydrogen atoms more. And now if you take, that was evolved as oxidizing, converted into oxidizing. This is because of the presence of oxygen. Clear, dear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, who called large colloidal particles of primitive sea as conservates? Oparin called the colloidal particles as conservates. And again, who called water of primitive sea as prebiotic soup? So what do you mean by prebiotic soup? So prebiotic soup means this, that is the broth or soup which is containing all the content which is needed for life. So Haldane explained that prebiotic soup is ocean water actually. Okay. So Miller successfully demonstrated formation of amino acids by electric discharge in the mixture of hydrogen, ammonia, water, and 3 they have given: hydrogen, ammonia, water. 1 left. What is that? Methane. Okay. Nandini, Miller successfully demonstrated formation of amino acids by electric discharge in mixture of hydrogen, ammonia, water, and 1 more component they left, that is methane. And next is Oparin's theory is based on artificial synthesis, spontaneous generation, God's will, all.
Artificial synthesis.
Yes, artificial synthesis. Haldane's proposal was artificial synthesis. So he proved like how in the atmosphere all the smaller molecules combine to form monomers. Okay. Galapagos Islands are connected with which scientist? Galapagos Island connected with? See, Darwin's finches. You should not forget this. Darwin, he found out the birds. Galapagos Island. So he found out, he examined the birds, and the beaks of birds, they evolved based on the need. Okay. And again, valleys, if you take, he visited. Do you remember the same period, both Darwin and Valleys?
Archipelago.
Yeah, Malay archipelago. So this island is in Asia. Okay. Branch of biology which deals with fossils is paleontology. Okay, paleontology. Clear? Fossils.
Yes, ma'am.
This is also important. Paleontology is the study of fossils. Which animal has become extinct rather recently? Dinosaur, pterodactyl, mammoth, dodo. Dodo, yes. Theory of this you are studying in biodiversity and conservation. Okay. So theory of evolution is mainly concerned with spontaneous generation, theory of special creation, gradual change, conditions of environment.
Gradual change.
Yeah, gradual change. Yes. So Prototheria have developed from Prototheria. In Prototheria, reptiles. Okay, Prototheria is for reptiles. Remember this. Homologous organs have, what is homology and analogy? Tell me.
Same structure, different function.
Homology,
Different function, same structure. Origin of structure.
structure will be same or different.
Same now.
Yeah, same structure, different
Function.
function. Okay, and origin is from same structure.
Same
means
structure.
origin. Yeah, origin means they developed from same origin. Okay, and again this is otherwise called as convergent or divergent evolution.
Divergent.
Yes, divergent evolution. And at the same time, if you take analogy, yeah, analogy,
Different structure,
yeah, different structures,
same function.
different structures evolved from different origin, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, origin is different. So because of that, this is called as
Convergent.
okay. Which of the following has homologous organs? Hand of man, monkey, kangaroo, trunk of elephant, first option. Second option, wings of insects, birds and bats. Hind limbs of grasshopper, horse and bat. Mouth parts of cockroach, mosquito and honeybee. Trunk of elephant you cannot compare with the hands of man. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am. Wing.
Homologous. Wings of insects and birds, they are for analogy. Birds, they are having bones. Yes or no? Different structure. So analogy. Hind limbs of grasshopper and horse. Horse, how come it can be compared with grasshopper? That is also wrong. Yes or no? Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Four,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, yeah. Mouth parts of all insects, same. Cockroach, mosquitoes, and honeybee. That is the correct answer for homology. Okay.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
which of the following organs in man is vestigial? Fossa ovalis, ileum, jejunum, wisdom teeth.
Wisdom teeth.
Wisdom teeth, yes. Analogous organs are similar in origin, similar in structure, non-functional, similar in function.
Similar in function.
Very good. Connecting link between protozoa and plant is euglena. This is not needed leaf. Yeah, if particular animal has shelled eggs, hair, and teeth of the body and has cloaca, it may be reptiles and birds, birds and mammals, reptiles and mammals, none of them.
Reptiles and birds.
Reptiles and
Birds.
hairs. Mammals, reptiles and mammals, yes. Yeah, if a starfish possesses 6 arms instead of 5, it is an example of variation, metamorphosis, biogenesis, evolution.
Evolution.
Variation. If a starfish possesses 6 arms instead of 5, that denotes variation. Yeah, wings of locust, pigeon, and bat are example of.
Analogous.
Very good. Homology is exhibited by wings of butterfly, birds and bat. No, this is analogy. Okay. Paddle of whale, forearm of horse and forelimbs. Tail of monkey and bird, sting of scorpion and apis, honeybee. Which one? Homology.
Limbs, ma'am.
Paddle of whale. That is the same example given there. Paddle of whale, forearm of horse and forelimbs. Forelimbs of human. Okay.
Yes.
The same example is given there in NCERT. Fossilization can occur where fossilization can occur where, first option, animals are buried and preserved by natural process. Animals are destroyed by scavengers. Animals are eaten by predators. Animals are destroyed by environmental conditions.
Yeah,
Which
ma'am.
yeah, very good. Animals, if we bury, that portion may become rock and that fossils we can get. Okay. Golden age of dinosaurs was during Dinosaurus Archaeozoic. Okay. Yeah, Dinosaurus Archaeozoic era. Yeah. So how the fossils are being dated? That is the age of that organism. We are identifying like 2 million years ago, like that, based on the fossils. That is done by amount of calcium residue, amount of radioactive carbon compound, association with other animals, structure of bones.
Option B.
Yeah, amount of that is radioactivity of carbon compound. Age of fossil is by, that technique is called as radiocarbon dating. Radiocarbon dating. Okay, radioactivity, that is based on the radioactivity of carbon. Yeah, what is the sequence in the evolution of man? Option 1, fish, amphibian, bird, man. Insect, fish, bird, man. Fish, amphibian, reptile, man. Fish, amphibian, bird, man. Clearly, I have stated from lobe fin. So lobe fin, this is fish actually. From this, amphibian developed. And from this, reptiles. And then apes, and then man. So this is the correct evolution of man. Life originated in which era? Already we have discussed. Pre-Cambrian. Yeah, golden age of fishes is the name of Devonian. Devonian period is the golden age of fishes. Dinosaurs are, next question, dinosaurs are primitive amphibians, extinct reptiles, giant mammals, primitive mammals.
Extinct reptiles.
Yeah, extinct reptiles. Name the scientist who gave mutation theory.
Hugo de Varis.
Yeah, Hugo de Varis. Darwinian's theory of natural selection was based on option 1, inheritance of acquired characters. That was by
Lamarck.
Lamarck. Mutation by Hugo de Varis.
Hugo de Varis.
Enormous rate of reproduction in organisms, struggle for existence and survival of fittest.
Survival of fittest.
No, this entire thing, enormous rate of reproduction, as I informed, like they were struggling and they are trying to adjust and adapt the situation, and they are following survival of fittest and reproducing more. Those organisms can continue their life. Okay. All these comes under Darwin's theory. Enormous rate of reproduction, struggle for existence, survival of fittest. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, what was the basic principle of Lamarckism? Inheritance of archaic character, that you told already. Okay, Darwin explained the origin of species through natural selection theory. Okay, the ship on which Darwin traveled,
Beagle ship.
yeah, HMS Beagle, HMS Beagle. Okay, there would be no evolution if the inheritance of archaic characters did not take place. Somatic variation were not inheritable. Gene variation were not found among members of population. Somatic variations would not transform into germinal variations. There would be no evolution if there is no genetic variation.
C.
Yeah, see, correct. The book Origin of Species was published in the year. This is not in this chapter. Organisms and populations, I think. Origin of Species in the year 1859. Yeah, the weakest point of Darwinism was that it had no explanation for variations. He didn't explain about, I told you, that is, he didn't inform about genetic mutation and all. He just told the variation is the reason for evolution. But he didn't explain how the variations are happening. We discussed this during class. Do you remember?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the weakest point of Darwinism was that he didn't explain about variations, how it is happening. Okay. Yeah, snakes now do not have legs because legs are lost during their entry in tunnels. Legs are lost during evolution. The ancestors of reptiles did not have legs. There are no legs in lizards.
B, ma'am.
B, yes, due to evolution. Yeah, so which of the following facts develop suspicions in Lamarckism? Yeah, leave this, this is not needed. To be successful in evolution, a mutation must occur in plasma proteins, somatoplasmic DNA, germplasmic DNA, RNA.
Germplasmic DNA.
Yeah, very good. What is the difference between somatoplasmic and germplasmic?
Somatoplasmic is
all other body cells. Here, gametes.
yes, ma'am.
The DNA of the gametes is getting mutated, automatically the changes will be exhibited in further generations. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. Who attempted to solve the mechanism of organic evolution for the first time? Who attempted to solve the mechanism of organic evolution for the first time?
Alden and Othorn.
No, Haeckel, De Vries, Lamarck, Darwin. Here they have given Lamarck, but this is not mentioned anywhere in NCERT. Just you ignore this question. Okay. Yeah, the concept of sudden genetic change, which breeds true in a species, is represented as sudden change in gene.
Mutation.
It's called, yeah. Mutation can be artificially induced by radiations, chemicals, none of them, both of them.
Both of them.
Both of them. Most of the natural mutations are useful, harmful, neutral, semi-lethal.
Useful.
No, harmful. Mutation is the reason for cancer and so many diseases. Natural mutations, sometimes it is getting evolved, but nowadays, because of UV rays from sun, ocean depletion, because of ocean depletion, cancers are being caused. Okay. Cause of mutation is changes in DNA, changes in chromosomes, changes in gene, all of them.
Changes in gene, all of them.
All of them, yes. In the population of species, changes of the spreading of mutant gene increases when it is the population of species. Chances of spreading the mutant gene increases when it is recessive. Natural selection occurs, dominant, neither dominant nor recessive.
Dominant.
When recent selection occurs, sorry, natural, that is natural selection occurs. See, if in the population of species, chances of spreading of mutant gene occurs only by natural selection. We are not making that change. By natural selection, they are getting evolved. Yeah, one of the major criticism of Darwin's theory is it does not explain variations with heredity. Okay, genes, how it is getting varied and how it is transformed to further generation. He didn't explain that. Mutation theory to explain mechanism of evolution was given by Hugo de Vries, and he experimented on the garden pea, fruit fly, China rose, evening primrose.
Evening primrose.
Yeah, mutations are generally harmful, that we discussed. Okay. The ultimate source of organic variation is mutation, sexual reproduction, natural selection, hormonal action.
Natural
Organic,
selection.
no, mutation. The ultimate source of organic variation is due to mutation only. Yeah, which is the correct match? Mendel, mutation. Morgan, father of genetics. De Vries, Oenothera lamarckiana. Yeah, De Vries, Hugo de Vries. He did experiment with primrose. The scientific name for primrose is Oenothera lamarckiana. Yes, this is the correct option. Gene pool is, what is the definition for gene pool? Different genes of all individuals of a species found in an area is called as gene pool. See, let me write here, what is gene pool? That is different genes of all individuals. Genes of all individuals in an area, individuals of species in an area. Okay. What was the cranial capacity of Java man? 900 cc. 900 cc. Neanderthal man, 1400. Okay. So please, that brain capacity, you just remember, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, which fossil man had cranial capacity almost equal to modern man? Neanderthal man. Okay? Modern man is having a brain capacity equal to Neanderthal man. Fire for protection and cooking was first used by Java man. Okay. And colored rock paintings were first done by Cro-Magnon man. Cro-Magnon man. Carvings and paintings. Largest cranial capacity was found in, this is not given here in NCERT, 1650 cc Cro-Magnon man. Please remember this, largest cranial capacity. Study of fossils comes under paleontology.
Paleontology.
Yes. Human hand, wing of bat, flipper of whale represents homology. A connecting link between reptiles and birds. A connecting link between reptiles and birds, Archaeopteryx. I have shown the picture
Yes,
also.
ma'am.
Who published the book Origin of Species by Natural Selection in 1859? That is Darwin's book. Okay,
Darwin.
Darwin. Yeah, which of the following is the most primitive ancestor of man? Homo habilis, Ramapithecus, Australopithecus, and Homo neanderthal man.
Australopithecus.
No, first Dryorama. Dryorama, after that only. Okay, first here, Dryo we didn't have in the option. So Ramapithecus is the correct answer. Okay, that order is very important here. Yeah. Shall we wind up?
Yes, ma'am.
So do you have questions, more questions in this chapter?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any material for revising questions? Because this chapter, you know, it is very dry.
I don't
Not like
book for questions or only theory based books.
yeah, okay, then I will send the questions. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, dear.
Thank you, ma'am.